Ever notice how police games never quite agree on what being the law really means? Some make you a tactical genius, storming drug dens. Others hand you a radar gun and a ticket book. And in 2025, the genre finally blew open, with new releases, console ports, and old legends getting their due. Today, we're ranking the 10 best police games, actually ranked for 2025. Whether you crave realism, chaos, or narrative grit, these are the games where you don't just play the hero, you decide what justice looks like. Stick around till the end to see which title truly earns the badge, and if you love deep dive gaming lists like this, hit subscribe to Pulse Gaming. We dissect the stories behind the pixels. 10. The Silver Case. Before the genre went full 3D realism, it got weird and brilliant. The Silver Case from Suda51 is part visual novel, part detective nightmare. You play a lone investigator in a dystopian Japanese city, trying to untangle a string of murders tied to a serial killer who may or may not be dead. The game doesn't spoon-feed you answers. Every line of dialogue feels like a riddle, every clue half a truth. If modern police sims show the procedures, the Silver Case shows the obsession. The mental unraveling that happens when justice stops making sense. And in 2025, it's found a new cult following thanks to remasters and streaming retrospectives that celebrate its offbeat style. But if you'd rather be the law, not question it, the next pick drops you straight into the patrol car. 9. Police Simulator Patrol Officers. Think you know boredom? Try writing parking tickets while drunks jaywalk and minor fender benders turn into chaos. That's Police Simulator Patrol Officers, a surprisingly addictive realism simulator that rewards patience, not firepower. You walk the beat, scan plates, question witnesses, and slowly climb the ranks of law enforcement. What sounds mundane becomes meditative because every little choice has ripple effects. Do you arrest someone for minor possession or give them a warning? Do you ignore a red light runner to stop a speeding truck? This is policing without explosions, and that's exactly why it works. It's part simulation, part social commentary, and if you crave realism over adrenaline, this is your world. But maybe you'd prefer a badge and a shotgun. 8. SWAT 4. Long before tactical shooters flooded the market, SWAT 4 defined the gold standard of teamwork under pressure. Released back in 2005, but still played through modern mods and Steam revivals, it turns every mission into a moral test. You can't just kick doors and spray bullets. Every command, every flashbang, every hesitation decides whether a suspect lives or dies, and your rating reflects that. It's slow, methodical, and still unmatched for tension. 2025 has seen the community revive SWAT 4 with AI mods, new maps, and full co-op support. Proof that realism ages far better than reflexes. But if you want a modern spiritual successor, something truly built for today, you're about to get it. 7. Ready or Not. Developed by Void Interactive, Ready or Not finally hit consoles in 2025, and it's brutal in the best way. You lead an elite SWAT team through hostage rescues, drug raids, and unpredictable standoffs. Everything here bleeds tension. The muffled shouts behind doors, the flashlight cutting through smoke, the suspects who surrender or don't. It's not a shooter for thrill seekers, it's a test of restraint. Mistakes carry weight, and players love it for that. Of course, it's not without controversy. Some missions drew fire for their realism. But that's what makes Ready or Not so gripping. It's uncomfortable, authentic, and nothing feels scripted. Still, not every cop story happens in flashing sirens. Some unfold behind a desk, under flickering neon. 6. Shadows of Doubt. Imagine a fully procedural city, every room explorable, every citizen with a name, job, and secret. That's Shadows of Doubt, a voxel noir detective sim that blurs the line between police work and private obsession. You play a former cop turned private investigator, crawling through vents, hacking security cameras, and sifting through rain-soaked clues. No two cases are ever the same. One night, you might catch a murderer by following cigarette brands. The next, you might arrest yourself in an alternate timeline. It's surreal, it's cerebral, and in 2025's full release, it's better than ever. Few games capture the feeling of isolation and paranoia quite like this one. But if you want that mix of mystery and cinematic grandeur, a case file straight out of old Hollywood, let's talk about a legend. 5. LA Noire. Even in 2025, LA Noire still feels decades ahead of most crime games. Rockstar and Team Bondi's facial capture technology remains unmatched. Every twitch, smirk, or nervous glance feels real. You play Cole Phelps, a detective climbing the ranks in post-war Los Angeles, uncovering corruption from inside the badge. But what made it groundbreaking wasn't the action, it was the interrogation system. You had to read people, not just shoot them. In 2025, streamers still revisit it as the perfect detective experience, proving that realism doesn't always mean next-gen graphics. Sometimes it's about human emotion. And if LA Noire shows us how police work feels, the next game shows what happens when it sounds like war. 4. Battlefield Hardline. When DICE decided to swap soldiers for cops, no one expected it to work. But Battlefield Hardline turned out to be a fast, explosive twist on the series' formula. You play Nick Mendoza, a detective pulled between loyalty and corruption. And the campaign goes full Michael Mann, Heat-style heists, betrayals, and bullets through sunlit skylines. Critics were split back in 2015, but in 2025, with servers revived and fan patches breathing life back into the multiplayer, it's aging like fine whiskey. It's not realistic. It's not subtle. But when you're rappelling down a Miami skyscraper while jazz riffs and chaos collide, realism can wait. Still, not every cop story needs explosions. Some just need quiet, rising dread. 3. Contraband Police. On the border between USSR-era Poland and insanity sits Contraband Police, a cult favorite that got its console release in late 2025. You play a border officer scanning trucks for drugs, guns, or human cargo, and yes, occasionally a goat. Every car hides a mystery. The challenge is knowing when to wave someone through or pull the trigger. And as the story unfolds, you realize the real smuggler might be wearing your uniform. It's darkly funny, absurdly tense, and somehow deeply political. It turns mundane labor into psychological warfare, and that's what keeps players hooked. But what if we dial that intensity up to 1983, to a city rotting from the inside out? 2. The Precinct. Released mid-2025, The Precinct is the comeback of the classic cop drama fantasy. Set in a gritty 1980s metropolis, you're a rookie officer chasing crimes that happen dynamically. Theft, car chases, even gang wars. What makes it special? Freedom. You patrol a living city that actually reacts to your presence. Arrest one gang leader, another rises. Save one citizen, another vanishes. It's GTA-style chaos, but with a moral compass, and it nails the atmosphere. The rain-slick streets, the neon glow, the synth soundtrack. It feels like Blade Runner if Deckard had a badge. And the devs have already teased expansions that push it even deeper into procedural storytelling. But one game still stands above the rest, because it redefines what a police game even is. 1. Alpha Response. When Guzman, the creator of Counter-Strike, announced Alpha Response, expectations were sky high, and in 2025, the full release proved he still has it. It blends tactical realism with arcade speed. Think SWAT 4 meets COD MW2, but tighter, riskier, and far more immersive. You coordinate small team responses to hostage crises, high-risk warrants, and urban terrorism. And the AI actually adapts to your methods. It's not just about shooting. It's about control. Doors, drones, flashbangs, drones, camera feeds. You orchestrate everything like a conductor in chaos. And when you finally clear a building with zero casualties, it feels less like victory and more like relief. This is the cop fantasy and the cop reality merged into one uncomfortable masterpiece. It's hard, smart, and built for a generation that's seen too many games mistake violence for strategy. So, what do we learn from these 10? That police games aren't a genre, they're a spectrum. From bureaucratic ticketing to chaotic shootouts, from noir interrogations to moral gray zones, every one of these titles shows a different side of what justice can mean. And 2025 proved the theme isn't fading, it's evolving. We're finally getting games that treat policing as more than action. They treat it as psychology, consequence, and story. Which badge would you wear? The calm precision of Ready or Not, the chaos of Battlefield Hardline, or the neon grit of The Precinct? Drop your pick in the comments. I read every one. If you enjoyed this countdown, hit subscribe to Pulse Gaming, ring the bell, and get our next deep dive. 10 games that punish you for playing like a hero. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and keep those sirens off until you need them.